All right. Hey everyone. I'm here doing an interview with a world record holder. So this happened exactly 1 week ago. Everyone say hi to Elijah
Buddy.
Rainfroms. So here are some basic questions. So how did you get into square one and everything?
I started cubing around 4 years ago, and at my first competition, which was Massachusetts Championships, that was in July of 2019. I met Levi Gibson, who is my probably my best cubing friend right now, who lives really close to me. So he was very good at square one. He averaged like 11, and I averaged, I think at Mass Champs at my first comp, I didn't make cutoff. I think I got like a 44 and a 41 or something. But I wanted to get very good, so I kept practicing, and he would give me. He was really good at like modding uh, cubes, and at the time, the best square one was the what was it called? It was the Houston Little Magic magnetic one, and you could do like a ton of mods to it, make it better. And he was really good at like modding and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he made me these really good square ones, and I used them to practice a lot. And I dropped my times. Uh, I think in like 2020, I was averaging like 17. And then I got coached by Daniel, a Derpy Cuber, and then that dropped my times to like 12. And then I realized like my turning was pretty good. I was like, oh, I'm kind of good at this, and I just stuck with it. And I'm currently averaging like low eight, high
Mm-hmm.
seven.
So I reconstructed yourself. So Gil got to it first, but that's whatever. I noticed that in the video you didn't trace, so there was no CSP,
Yeah.
and then you didn't do OBL. So yeah.
So here, I'm gonna pull up the scramble while I talk because I wanna show some fun stuff. So the world record. Yeah, so there's no. I know how to trace that case. I talked about it in a recent video I made, but I know how to trace. It's like uh, it's like good fists. It's very easy. Cube shape. It's two slices. I know how to trace it.
Hmm.
I've done it before, hundreds of times, and for whatever reason, I just decided not to trace in the solve. I think it's because I had my times before were 7, 6, 14, and 10. So I was kind of already like annoyed with the average. Like, it wouldn't be a good average. So I guess I just didn't care. I think that's why I didn't trace. I just did not really care at all.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
So
that's sure.
would you say that because you had a 14, and I think a 10, you were already like you were just like screw this average, and then you just
Pretty
didn't have
much.
nerves going into
Yeah,
that solve.
pretty
Um,
much. I
yeah.
really just didn't care at all. Like I was too like I wasn't like annoyed about the average because I already have a really good official average, but I was like, it's whatever.
Hmm.
Last solve, whatever. It doesn't really matter what happens. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you feel like if you did trace and then you realized that it wasn't going to give parity? I mean, you were going to do CSP anyway, but um, do you think you would have gotten more nervous because you were going to be like, oh, this is going to be like a lucky solve or something?
100%. There was a scramble at Amherst Open, which was the comp previous to Native Cube. Was it? I don't know. Oh no, two comps previous. But I got fist as a cube shape, and I traced it. Um, and the solution gave me that cube shape, which I traced even for, so I knew it didn't have
Hmm.
parity, and then a three slice OBL, and then this PBL, which is called VF, which
Hmm.
is five slices. So it just looks like that,
Yeah.
and it's done.
Hmm.
Um, and that was like my first like world record fail because if I had done that solution, it's 10 slices basically. Like it's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
um, if I had done the solution, it probably like I locked up on cube shape. I didn't do the OBL correctly, and then I didn't do the PBL correctly. If I had done all those things, it probably would have been like I had done them as well as I did in the world record solve recently. Probably would have been like a 3.9. But now I don't care about that because I didn't trace. So I think to answer your question, I think that not tracing definitely made me less nervous, which I think
Mhm.
I'm glad I didn't trace. But about here, I want to show something real quick about the scramble because this is not the right scramble. A lot of people, nowadays are using OBL, which I know a couple OBLs. I want to learn more now, but I feel like I'm really glad in this solve that I didn't do OBL. How do I keep misscrambling this? The OBL case that I got was actually 3 slices, which is a pretty good OBL.
Mhm.
Because this is why I'm really glad I didn't do OBL. So spoiler alert, it's a terrible, terrible PBL. But if you do the shape like how I did it, and
Mhm.
then you do the OBL, which is basically starting out the same way as I did it, which is bringing the 2 bars here up, and then instead of solving CO like that, you can do 2 slices a different way to solve OBL.
Mhm.
However, it gives um, S, this is called S on top, and then PN, which is like a Y perm with two, or no, an N perm with 2 swapped edges, and this is like a Y perm with 2 swapped edges. This is, I think a lot of people agree with me. This is like probably one of the worst PBLs you can get.
Mhm.
I don't know the alg for it, and it's just terrible. I don't think there is a good alg for this. It's just really, really bad.
Mhm.
So I'm super glad I did not uh, do that because the solution I did gave me JJ, which is
Mhm.
probably the easiest PBL as opposed to like one of the worst. So
So did you know OBL before you did that solve, or did you
no,
learn it after?
well, I knew like how to do it, but I think at the speed I was turning, I didn't see it at all. I wasn't like after I did as I was doing the CO and EO, I wasn't like, oh shit, I could have done OBL. I was just like I
Mhm.
wasn't thinking at all.
Mhm.
Because I don't usually use OBL unless it's like a super easy case like a 3 slicer. Like this case I know.
Mhm.
Um, 3 slicer. Like unless it's like a really easy case that I know, then I'll do it and kind of pause. But for fist, I just decided not to do it, and I just looked ahead really well to my CO and EO. So I turned really well too.
Mhm.
That's after I watched the video back.
Would you like to share with everyone which cube you used and where you can get the
I would
puzzle?
love to. Oh my goodness, I'm glad you asked. I used the Derpy Cuber MGC Square one. Got it from thecubicle.com, um, and it's this is the new one. This is the Maglev one.
Mhm. Make sure to
This one
use
has
code
Maglev.
RAIN for 5% off
Oh
on
yeah, I
any
agree.
order.
I don't know if I can't get the center cap off right now, but um, yeah, or the equator cap.
Mm.
I can't get this off right now,
I'll
but
leave a link in the
it's got.
description for
You should go
anyone
check
who
it
wants
out.
to get that. Make sure to use code
I'd
RAIN.
recommend it. I'd recommend it for sure.
Maybe you'll
Yeah,
break a
so it
world
has.
record too.
Maybe you will. You never know. It has maglev technology, so it's like faster, and it's just like just super super good. I love it because it's like fast but stable, and I don't think I've ever gotten like a bad lockup or pop on it. These are the stock tensions. I don't. Whenever I buy cubes, doesn't matter if it's a square one or a 3x3 or whatever. I don't mess with tensions. That's just my thing because I'm not into like the customization stuff. So I just do whatever, and you know. But very very good cube. 10 out of 10.
So obviously you broke the world record by like small margin, 0.01. Um, so like you mentioned in your previous video, you said like you weren't sure if you broke world record, but you kind of like mumbled to yourself world record. But like when you saw the time and you realized it was by 0.01, like what was your reaction? Like in your
I
mind?
cannot believe it. It's really like it sounds weird. I was talking with Daniel after the. He was asking me like how I felt and like what the experience was like, and it's really like it's a dream. Like it's crazy. It doesn't like feel very real to me at all. Um, I saw the timer and I was just like I couldn't believe it, and like the I'd say the most stressful part of it is just making sure it's legit afterwards, because like imagine it's not. It's like it's I don't know. So I think seeing the time like craziest feeling ever. Um, but after I saw the time and I was like, okay, I just got world record. I need to calm down. And then I'm like, oh my god, we have to check it because like you gotta check if the scramble's good. You gotta check if like it's legit. So we watched the video back. We
Hmm.
had to frame count it. We paused it and stuff. We were looking at it. This is also is another cool story that would be fun to put in a little interview, which is the person who signed the scrambling box for the world record was Will Russo. Shout out to Will Russo. He's a great guy. And Will Russo, his initials are WR, and he signed WR in the box where I got WR. So I guess he like called it. But he was also telling me like he was scrambling my cube and he was like, "Oh, that's Elijah's scorecard." And he did the scramble. It was scramble 5. He was telling me after he was like, "Oh my god, this is fist with no parity." Like because he's scrambling it so you can see it. He's like, "Oh my god, it's fist with no parity." And Elijah's about to compete. Like he knew. I feel like he knew I was gonna get something good. But yeah, so that's a cool little fun fact.
I'm sure everyone would like to know, like, what other hobbies do you have outside of cubing and obviously, making videos and stuff?
Outside of cubing, what do I do? I love to go on walks with friends. That's like my number one thing. I play Ultimate Frisbee. I just got back from a pickup game. That's pretty fun. I make beats. I'm super into rap and hip hop. I make beats. Um, and I listen to a lot of Spotify, a lot of music. Music's like my music, Ultimate Frisbee, cubing, I'd say, like top 3 hobbies. And
Hmm.
video production, video editing and stuff.
Hmm.
Good stuff. Those are my main hobbies, I'd say.
Hmm. Um, would you say, that you know, uh, breaking state record, right? Like in the same average. Do you think that like at all made you like nervous, or do you think that just like you just didn't like you completely forgot about it during that solve?
Think it would have made me nervous if my third or fourth solve was a 7 because I had a 7.6, 6.1, then obviously, as you know, 14 and the 10. So I
Hmm.
think if the 14 or the 10 were like a 7 or a 6, I would have been extremely nervous because that's like
Hmm.
sub 7 average potential. I think getting the state record, like that average had a counting 6.1. Like that's ridiculous.
Hmm.
So I know I'm at least I know I'm capable of sub 7, which is cool. Um, and I think that getting state record on solve 2, um, that at that point I think it actually helped my nerves because I mean my goal going into Naticube was not world record was not like in my mind at all. None of that. I wanted state record like so badly. Like I that's all I wanted. So getting the 6.1, the previous was 6.2 something. So getting 6.1, like at that moment when I got state record, the comp was like over for me. Like I just didn't really care about any of my upcoming results.
Hmm.
So I think it definitely helped me as well in terms of
Hmm.
getting the world record because I'm like I just didn't care.
Yeah.
I was happy with state record. So I think yeah, I think that's how it affected
Yeah.
my times.
Are you like at all kind of upset that the average wasn't like a sub 7 or like a low sub 8 because of the counting 10?
Not at all. I think that getting a counting 10 and like counting 6, counting 10, counting 7, like I mean it sucks. I would have rather not done that, but at the same time, it's like I can't complain at all. Like I have a world record. Like I feel like
Hmm.
that's I take that over a PR average any day of the week. So I think it's more of like a learning point for me where I can like kind of take a step back and be like, okay, I have a single, which I'm probably never going to break at least for a few years. I don't think I'm ever going to get sub that in a while. So
Hmm.
and now I can kind of take a step back and like concentrate more on my average because I feel like I shift from concentrating more on average and then single and then average and then single. Single's done. Like that's
Hmm.
checked off the list like forever for me now. So I think focusing on average now, it's going to be difficult because average is like harder to get than single in
Hmm.
my opinion. But um, yeah, so that's what I'm going for now.
Hmm.
Hopefully sub 7 by Nats or something.
Hmm.
I have a lot of rounds upcoming, so looking forward to it.
So like with the 4, Like, what was the probability of you getting a four anyway? Like, how often do you get fours or like threes or like low fives at home?
Um, it's a good question. I'd say at home, I definitely get at least like a four every day or two. Usually it's a high four.
Hmm.
Uh, I got a couple threes recently too. I got a couple threes. I got one yesterday, I think. I'm looking at my CS timer times. My
Hmm.
solves from yesterday, my fourth to last solve was a 4.8. And do I have any other fours? Yeah, 460 was a couple solves before that. So, oh yeah, and here's a 3.7, which I posted in something somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, so I'd say I get like probably a four every day or two, and then a three like once a week. But recently, I've been getting a lot of threes, so
Hmm.
that's new. I also am getting like sub seven averages probably every day or two, every 3 days or so. But it depends on how much I have time to practice. Recently, I've been kind of busy, so I haven't had too much time. But
Hmm.
I have a comp with 2 rounds. I'm actually going to be there with Hassan, so that'll be fun.
Hmm.
I want to get something good.
Yeah.
Hopefully sub six. I know Hassan. Oh my god, I can already see all the comments and all the everything. Like, oh my god, they're gonna meet each other. Well, we've already met before.
Yeah.
But oh my god, they see each other, and he took his world record, and he's like, it's all love, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's there's no like hate between this. Like, it's
Yeah.
so. I've looked at the comments. It's so funny to me. Everyone's like, poor
Yeah.
Hassan. Like, oh my god, Elijah did Hassan dirty. He took his world. Like, no, it's not even close. Like,
Yeah.
we're super supportive. If he gets the world record again, which I feel like he could definitely, like,
Hmm.
I'd just be nothing but happy for him. Like,
Yeah.
he deserved the world record more than I did because he's been like he's faster than me in general. But like he was very happy for me when I got it. He wasn't. He didn't. He sent me a message. He's like, "Congrats, congrats." Um, but there was no like, yeah. It's like all love between me and Hassan. So
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to seeing him again, and
Yeah.
we're gonna put on a show for everyone because it's gonna be great.
Yeah. So what other events do you practice other than like Square One?
Ooh, what other? I'm not usually a big cubes guy, but recently I've been doing a lot of 6x6 because I'm trying to get less worse, not better, just less
Hmm.
worse. Um, I 3x3 is probably my second main event.
Hmm.
I recently got an 8.1 average of 100, so almost sub 8. For some reason, I'm really good at 2x2 officially, even though I've
Yeah, you've been
never
winning
practiced.
so many two by two finals.
I don't know how I'm doing it, but getting like sub 3 averages every time I compete. Um, I love 4x4. I'd say my top 5 events right now. Two, or no, I'm not going to put 2x2 on there. It's stupid. Say 3x3, 4x4, Squan, Pyrrha, 6x6.
Hmm.
That's probably my list right now. I'm not a lot of people have realized this because I'm known as a Squan guy, but I love Pyrrha. I'm trying to get better at Pyrrha. Trying to get sub 3 and state record. So hopefully that'll happen soon.
Hmm. Yeah. So, lastly, I guess, do you have any, tips for up and comers in Square One? Like, what do you think their practice habits should be, or anything? Uh, and how to have fun with Squan.
Um, I think Square One has definitely changed recently, and I say that because of OBL and PBL. Um, I feel like that's more advanced for people who are. If you want to get into Squan, you're not into Squan yet. You want to kind of like get better at it. Um, I mean, it's just a super kind of dumb answer, but I mean, watch tutorials. That's what I got to say. I'd say that if there are recommendations, I'd give definitely Cube Master. 1 billion%. He's got the best tutorials. I've used his tutorials. I learned CSP
Hmm.
from him, or most of CSP. Still haven't learned all of it, but um, Square One's kind of known as like a really alg based event, and it is. But have fun with it. And uh, the algs, I feel like, are just I don't know. Squan is such a fun puzzle to turn, so I love learning algs because I find new ways to watch pieces like move around. Parody's annoying, but you gotta learn it. Everyone learns it. I'd say just like learn Alex and have fun with it. Like it's such a fun event. If you find yourself learning Squan and you're trying your best and you're just not having fun with it, it might just not be for you. You might be into like big cubes or other events. I don't know, but just if you're noticing that you're really liking Square One, you want to get better at it, watch tutorials, learn Alex, and just practice. That's really it's just practice. That's how I got faster. That's how anyone can get faster. And I know it's like a really boring answer, but that's all I got. That's the best answer there is.
Yeah. So, once again, congrats on getting WR. Uh,
Thank you.
Definitely more world records to come.
Hope
So
so.
thank you for taking your time to do an interview, and
No problem.
yeah, and I'll leave both of his channels in the description, and I'll leave the Derpy Squad in the description as well. Make sure to use code RAIN at thecubicle.com for 5% off any order. And yeah, so I guess I'll see you guys next time.
See you guys. Bye.